Alright, so today we have our Ego SNT 2100, and this one comes with a kind of like a, I don't want to say a fiberglass auger, but it's something that's pretty malleable. So it actually has a slice in this right here, and I asked them if this is under warranty. It's not under warranty, and you can see some of this is like sort of peeling off here. Now, one of the issues that I'm actually having with this is that it really has trouble with, I don't want to say heavier snow, but like, you know, if you let the snow freeze over, then you get some ice. So what I've done is I bought one of the spare parts here for about 80 bucks. And I just want to change out this auger for a nice stainless steel one. I'm pretty sure this is stainless steel. It's pretty heavy, so I'm assuming it's not aluminum. But I'm hoping that this will actually be able to dig in a bit harder. Now, I haven't been able to, like, it's currently middle of November, and there's no snow. It's pretty warm out, so I won't be able to test this out right now in terms of like effectiveness, but I will be able to do this in about a month. So hopefully we'll see. We live in Illinois, and they have this particular churning thing or auger on the more expensive ones, or slightly more expensive ones, but wanting to see if this is more effective than this sort of flimsy one that already has broken after about a year of owning. So we'll get started. I think there's only a few screws that I have to take off here, and then I can just hop this out and replace it. So I'm sure there's a video on YouTube, but I'm just gonna wing it here. I'm thinking taking these bolts out, and then that'll get me to the actual motor portion here, and then it'll allow me to unscrew these 3 bolts here on the inside, and that'll hopefully give me access that I need. Okay, so there are actually, I think it's 8 bolts or screws, and that takes off this housing. But I looked over this side, and there's just 3 screws here. All right, so it looks like I just have to take this one out, and then I'll have access to this to take it out, but it does look like I will have to take out this side too. So that means taking out this pulley, and so this tension will be loosened. So this might cause some issues. So you'll want to make sure that you still have the same amount of tension on this belt, because that's what's going to power this thing. These are also 5mm Allen keys, so let's try to take this off here. Oh, okay, that turns it. Okay, so what I did here was I loosened up this tension spring, and so this, I used a flathead on this side of the thing that it's tensioned on, and then that allowed me to loosen the belt. And the belt is right here. You want to make sure this stays and goes on the proper way throughout the rest of the gearing here. And then once you have that, then you can pull this out here. So then these 3 screws, again T20, and that should allow you to get to the inside mechanism for the auger and replace it. All right, 3 screws out. 3 screws are out. Now let's it just fell out, so there we have it. We have this thing that fell out, so we need this part here, I believe. Okay, hold on. The bearings come out nice and easy. Okay, so I think it's just a little seized on there. So bearings come out. Need those to spin. And then this is on the inside of that, so the bearing will go in here like this. And flip it over for the other side too, so this should work the same way. All right, it took a little bit of persuasion, but it did eventually come off. The bearing came in pretty seized to it. There's a bit of rust here. Obviously this is, you know, pretty wet when you use it. So I might poke this out and just put some dry lube in there just to make sure it's still nice and oiled. But looks like we can just put these on like this and then it should be good. All right, I just put some 3-in-1 dry lube in there so the bearings would be a little bit more smooth. And then we'll put these puppies back in. I wasn't able to get this one fully out, but I did dry lube it anyways, just in case, as we want these to last a little bit longer than they would normally. All right, so that's in place. I'm gonna go on this side and tighten this side up first, line up the bolts here, and then put in the, first I'm gonna put in the bolt here, which is the, I think it's, what is it? This one here, which is 5mm. So we'll put 5mm Allen key back in here. It goes on pretty tight, so I have a slightly larger socket wrench than the other one, and I'll tighten that up. Then we will put the 3 T20 bolts and this cover on top, and then afterwards we will put and align these and the belt and whatnot. Got these in with the cover on it. It's a little bit tricky, but you can probably fidget around with it and figure it out. It's not too bad. Now we'll go over to the other side. You can see here the little gap there. Turn this around a little bit. And then we're gonna align this, put the 3 Torx bits in here, and then we'll put on this cover and then finish up with putting on the belt and then the rest of this, or this panel as well. So yeah, not too bad. Maybe take you 30 minutes, 45 minutes to do it. The probably trickiest part is the belt portion of it. Just making sure that, you know, I'm sure it's gonna be quite tough to put this spring back on too, so. All right, 3 screws are in, and then the plate is on, the belt is on. Now we have the tough part, which is the spring load. So I'm gonna have to stretch this out with a flathead behind this thing here. Easier than I thought. It was much harder getting it off, but now everything's tensioned. You can spin this. And then just make sure when you're looking at this belt here, and this is probably a replaceable part, which can cause an issue, but make sure everything's aligned here, and then make sure this turns freely here. And make sure it's not rubbing up against anything either, because that can mean that it's misaligned, which would be probably a bigger issue. Thank you for watching and seeing the replacement aspect of this Ego SNT 2100 and taking out this old piece of garbage. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.